father, son, fanboy.
In our last video, we told you we were going to show you our beautiful mugs.
Here they are.
Now that bad pun is out of the way. Hi, I'm Vance.
And I'm Aiden.
And this is Father, Son, Fanboy.
For this week's actual topical video, we thought we'd lean into the parental review topic and get it out of the way.
So this week we're going to cover a specific game series on a video that we're going to title On Second Thought.
Today we're going to cover a list of titles that are specifically in a series. There are titles out that will make it onto On Second Thought, but we're saving those for a different entry.
Now, we're aware that making this video might give kids the idea to go play these games, but our thought process is if they're watching YouTube and they're unsupervised right now, it's highly likely they've already seen these games and already own these games and are already playing these games, so we're not telling them anything new.
The content issue we are addressing today is mostly nudity in gaming. Action games are violent by nature, and almost all M-rated material has adult language in it.
With that in mind, first on the list,
the Far Cry series.
Now, this is a gaming series that we're both familiar with.
And we've had a lot of fun with.
Yeah, as far as a multiplayer experience is concerned, we've said in our first video that it's one of the best we've had. It's extremely fun. It's a first-person shooter. It's one of the rare first-person shooters that I like to play. What is it about Far Cry that you enjoy?
All of the explosions.
The explosions. I like the fact that Far Cry is so interactive. Like the buildings, and I don't remember which engine it has. I don't think it has DICE's Frostbite engine where the environments explode, but I really enjoy the fact that you set a field on fire, it burns. I mean, that's fun. God, now I sound like I enjoy burning down fields. No. What I mean to say is the realism of the interactive experience is fun. Again, like we said, violence is inherent in violent video games.
Yeah.
As a kid, what do you think the age rating on a Far Cry game should be?
I think it should definitely stay where it is right now. I think they did a pretty good job rating what they did rate on there.
Yeah, M17 Plus is probably good. Now, with parental guidance, now I don't know how many parents out there are gamers, but you can figure out where all the bad things are, quote unquote, bad things. So, like we're saying, this is a series to take a look at.
Another game that we have on our list that you should take a second thought on is the GTA series.
If this one isn't obvious,
what's wrong with you? Get a better mindset.
Okay, Grand Theft Auto is the game that politicians go to blame violence in video games on the bad things that happen in the world.
I mean, as much fun as I have had playing the little snippets of it at my friend's house, just going around, it's a fun game, but there are certain parts that you need to watch out for.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto was one of the first real open world sandbox series that paved the way for what's out there in gaming right now, but it's still a cautionary tale. I mean, they did news on the hot coffee mod, so seriously, it is not appropriate. I don't even have to ask him, what's the age rating?
At least they did a pretty good job with rating the game, just not a good job alerting the public about the rating.
All the games on this list are games that are extremely fun to play, so I understand the appeal. They're not for kids.
At all.
At all. The next game, Saints Row.
Just thought it would come perfectly right after GTA.
It's cheekier, but it's the same premise. Open world sandbox. Sandbox gangster. That's definitely going to be an on second thought topic we're going to cover. But today we're covering series. Mafia might actually need to be on this list, but you get the point.
Yeah.
Like the Grand Theft Auto series, Saints Row has law-breaking mayhem and extremely over-the-top violent content.
Heck, its latest arena playpen is called Agents of Mayhem.
Now, the gameplay is cartoony and comical in its nature, which makes it a very fun game to play. But what goes on under the radar for a lot of these series, this one, the last few that we've talked about, and the ones coming up, is the fact that there is content of a sexual nature on them as well. And not the corny attempts of games of old, like the Fable series where the game cuts away from any possible nudity to a black screen while sex is actually going on. These games developed for the next-gen consoles with mature ratings have the possibility of containing nudity, specifically that of a sexual nature. So, as a parent, you guys should really be talking to the people who sell you your games, especially if they have an M rating on them, because it's not just violence in these M-rated games. And if you're buying digital games and you're not sure, Google the game, Bing the game, Yahoo the game, check it out, whatever it is you got to do to look it up. Find out what's on that game that might not be appropriate, because you don't want your kids seeing something that they ain't ready to see or you're not ready for them to see.
Yeah.
Alright, so on the Rockstar topic, Red Dead.
This game I personally have had a lot of experience with. You haven't played it as much as I have.
No, I have run through the whole story, though.
I haven't played through the story, but I have played the multiplayer with my friends, and in that area of the game, there's not anything wrong with that, except being able to go around and shoot a bunch of people.
With Red Dead, I know the multiplayer is good. So what age range would you put that one at, honestly?
I think, if anything, what they should do, have like one rating for the main game itself, and then have a rating for how the multiplayer can be playing with other people.
It's a good idea. I like that idea. Between 13 and 18, where would you go with that one?
I'd say maybe at around like 16.
For the main game? Yeah.
Maybe a little bit like lower, like maybe 15.
Yeah. Now, Red Dead's in this series specifically because there is an incident that happens in the main game. It's on the story mode where it's definitely not appropriate for a young man or woman to see. Every parent is different, so you may view this in a different way, but I predict, and this is why it's on the list, because it's going to be a series. Red Dead 2 is coming out. I predict with the way games have gone, and with the next two on our list being perfect examples of what I'm about to say, I predict that Red Dead 2 might have more mature content. More so than Red Dead 1 or Red Dead Revolver. If you've got a mature 13 or 14-year-old and you've had, the talk with your kids, then yeah, maybe. But 16 is probably a safe bet for that one. The next two games are both BioWare games. Next two series.
The first series is Dragon Age.
Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age. What did they call Dragon Age 2, or is it just Dragon Age 2?
I don't know.
I think it was just Dragon Age 2.
You're the one who played the game. I don't know these.
Okay. Dragon Age 1 and 2, no nude content whatsoever in either one, but they do have sexual situations that, once again, a younger mind might not.
Now, recently, Dad's been letting me give the first two games a go, so I'm basically at the beginning of Dragon Age Origins, but as I have said, I haven't played Dragon Age 2 yet, so I can only really talk about what I've done so far. Which, so far, I think the game is actually pretty neat. I can't really talk about any of the, hanging out with any of the characters that you can, bring along with you on quests, because everybody hates me.
Yeah, he's not really good at the social bit yet, so it's not like I'm concerned about him seeing the things that might be inappropriate.
But in the combat area, I've done pretty good, and that part is pretty fun. Now, it's not like other games where you can go and, control every bit that you do. It's you select an enemy that you want to attack, and then the game just goes and attacks it for you. You don't really have the chance to go and attack it for yourself.
Yeah, it's one of the last turn-based combat games. It's actually pretty enjoyable. But again, I let my kid play because I feel like he's mature enough to handle the first two games. So games discretion, parents, and parents' discretion for the games that you let your kids play. But Dragon Age 3, which you've played the multiplayer with me once, like you did with the Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer.
I don't remember that.
But yeah, it's been a while. As a matter of fact, I think most of what's on my list are older titles. Some have new games coming out. Far Cry, new game coming out in the series.
But they are still pretty popular games, because I
Yeah.
have a couple of friends who still play Dragon Age.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto is still going strong with online. So, you know, we're covering pseudo-relevant topics. But back to the topic of Dragon Age 3, Dragon Age Inquisition. I'm going to refer us back to the comments we made on the Saints Row segment. Next-gen system games, especially those rated M for mature, specifically for sexual content, contain nudity. And the kind of nudity in these games can be akin to late-night cable television. We're going to cover a game later on that I will bring that back up. But, again, it's not like Fable, and it's not like the first two Dragon Age games where the content in the game was mild because they did have clothing on the characters. The content is inappropriate for ages under 16, in my opinion. And if you're a parent and you've bought these games for your kids and you haven't had the talk yet, they know. Surprise! So you might want to address that issue, because it's definitely something that a lot of kids are doing nowadays on their video games that you don't know about.
Now, the next game series on the list that I have a little bit of experience in the latest version's multiplayer mode is the Mass Effect series.
The launch trilogy was critically acclaimed. Mass Effect 3 hit a stumble in its ending, but made up for it in the DLC. We hit on this topic a little bit later on, but we really want to address the latest installment. Mass Effect Andromeda was a poorly received game because of glitch issues, and developers put it out too soon. They
Plus,
just did.
I think they tried to do way too much for just the multiplayer and the microtransactions in general.
Yeah. It's a casualty of the microtransaction culture, which we are so gonna cover in a video. We're not fans of microtransactions, so if you ever watch this game, developers, we know you've heard all the big names talk about it, so please.
At the very least, just make it to where it can only change your appearance and it doesn't affect with gameplay in general. You don't want people who are paying money to be better than all the other players who are trying to get through it fairly.
Or paying for a half-done game.
EA.
Yeah, that was a good cough. Gesundheit. Final game on the list. This one we're both going to talk about because I have let my son watch me play gameplay, so he is fully aware.
A little bit.
A little bit. But, dude, I know you sit there, and I know you watch my screen, and I know when to tell you to go away. The Witcher series. I know that a lot of parents sleep on the Witcher series. Mainly because Witcher 2 and Witcher 3, the first two console releases, were given away for free with the games for gold.
Just have to ask you real quick though, why are people sleeping on their game boxes?
Because they're comfortable. Super comfortable.
I'm pretty sure plastic boxes aren't comfortable.
Oh, they're so warm. You can totally sleep on one.
Would you know from
I mean,
personal
this is his
experience?
generation's lingo, right? I mean, come on, dog. I went too
This is
far
what I
on
have
that
to deal
one.
with.
I went too far on that one. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, The Witcher series. It is a great action game, right? You can attest to that.
Well, yeah.
Great
from the
action
start-
RPG.
It's just fun to watch. I can't imagine what it's like to actually play, but I'm not going to know that anytime soon.
Yeah, because we both agree this is a mature plus 17 game. Now, he doesn't know why, because I am strict about this particular game. This game is for adults. Okay, there isn't a 30-minute, maybe hour-long window if you're playing straight through the story where you ain't running into something that's probably on late night Cinemax. Just saying. But as far as gameplay is concerned, as far as graphics, if you're looking for an action RPG Skyrim style where the character is pre-built and the world comes from an already established great fiction,
Then, whoa, you got a time. Voice cracks, not fun.
Witcher 3, for a parent, it's great. I did not give it a go when it first came out, and what I heard, that didn't start out well. CD Projekt Red was very on top of their glitches and their patches. They were great, and it ended up becoming a pretty good game. Now it's 4K enabled. This is our list for On Second Thought, and we're not sure if there are any other series, but we call upon the gaming culture, especially parent and son or parent and daughter gamers, that
Parent and toaster.
if you are a parent to a toaster that plays video games, please leave a comment. I'd really like to know. I'd like to know how that works. I
I would
really
like
would.
to meet this toaster that can somehow speak to you.
But if you have a series, please leave it in the comments. We want to know. I'm pretty sure that I covered most of the series. Now, we are aware that there are new games coming out that have mature content, and we'll cover those on Second Thought too. Might even review some of them, and I might even do a review of some of these games that we're talking about. You might even have some retro rewinds of Aiden playing some of the original Dragon Age games, because he is now allowed to play them, having turned 13 this year. So that's our list, guys. We hope you enjoy. Please, again, like and subscribe.